We're 4.3.
Nice.
Even better.
Yeah, we're not like 2 stars. So, thanks for the review, guys. Good or bad, we want them all. Because that
like
just
4 inches. It's like 4 and 4 imperial scale.
Well, you're not quite average there, bud. So I wouldn't take that as a positive thing.
Is it 4.3 or is it?
It's 4
foot
and a half.
Is it 4 foot 5 inches?
If you're talking cocks, every little bit gained matters.
I just choose imperial systems as 4 or 5.
All right. So have you guys ever heard about the secret Apollo 18 mission?
I haven't.
I've
seen the movie.
Oh, sorry.
I thought the Apollo program was scrapped there before 18, sir.
Well, no.
They never made it. Yeah, I don't think this happened.
This is a secret mission, okay? So in December 1973, the Apollo 18 mission, they were canceled. They were informed that they were done.
Mm-hmm. Oh, that's why I didn't hear about it.
Yeah.
The fact that I
but
wasn't
then
alive.
they canceled it, but they proceeded to keep it going as a top secret Department of Defense mission. So they disguised it as a satellite. So the crew consisted of Commander Nathan Walker, Lieutenant Colonel John Gray, and Captain Ben Anderson. And they were launched to the moon, and they were going to place detectors to alert the United States of any impending ICBM attacks from the USSR. So John Gray remained in orbit in the command module. He was the asshole that didn't get to go down to the moon. Walker and Anderson, they landed on the moon. They were in the Apollo lunar module Liberty, is what it was called. They were in the middle of planning one of the detectors, and the pair decided to take rock samples, which Anderson describes as feeling strange. And I think this is where everything started going a little bit sideways for the crew.
This is where stuff flips upside down?
In space, which way is up?
Down.
I'm sure. I mean, because if you look at the moon in London and the moon in Australia, it's upside down. Explain that.
Is it?
Yeah.
Are we looking like a gravitational north or what? What's going on?
I'm just saying it should be pointing the same direction everywhere. But down there, it's
but if I'm in China looking up and you're in here looking up, we're looking up at different spots.
You're seeing 2 moons. Anyway, continue, Thomas.
It's 2 moons.
Yeah, I was going to say toilets should all flush the same way too, but in Australia they flush the opposite way. I was just going to throw that out there.
That's because of the direction of the water flowing in the bowl.
There's no equator.
I thought that was the Aurora Borealis effect.
So then the second day they continued, and Anderson started to explore near a crater, which he described the ground as feeling softer. Inside the crater, he finds a dead cosmonaut, as well as a broken helmet.
I don't think the Russians ever made it to the moon there, Chief.
This was the secret mission. You don't know. We don't know everything from Russia.
This sounds like something I know about.
Yeah.
So Walker, he sends a message back to Houston on Earth about the Soviet presence, but he was told only to continue with the mission. So
on Earth.
They continue on. During that day, they also they found a flag that they had planted as soon as they landed was gone, just vanished. So that's kind of creepy.
Is this real?
It's a secret mission.
Okay.
Then on the next night, Anderson wakes up and Walker's no longer in the shuttle anymore. He is walking around in the crater where they found the cosmonaut.
But he doesn't know he's even... Did he just... He ended up in the crater without his own knowledge?
He just... he was in the crater.
He sleptwalked in space.
He was pulled into the crater by the rock creatures. Anderson started to chase him. He was confronted by the aliens, and he has to flee to the Soviet... the Soviet lander. And Anderson uses this radio to contact USSR Mission Control. Why would you call the Soviets?
Because this is rock creatures like in the Noah movie. This is like God's coming back.
Like Galaxy Quest.
Get on the fucking boat! That's what he said.
Okay, so Anderson finally managed to send up a message to Gray in the capsule in orbit.
Now, was Gray the
they
Russian
try to-
guy?
The aliens.
No, he was the guy that got left behind. He was the guy that
Okay,
got
I'm
cut.
getting confused because this whole story feels like it's coming from a narrator and not an astronaut's point of view.
Just
Like
second
somebody's
person.
watching. It feels like somebody's watching the events and not living the events.
I
If
mean,
you get what I mean?
it's top secret.
Mm.
I mean, this would be a very interesting story to tell.
Yeah,
I don't know why more people don't know about it.
It didn't happen.
because I mean, yeah,
It sounds Hollywood to me.
A little bit.
yep.
So,
It's like an NWO cover-up.
It sounds like Satan. It sounds like Satanists talk to Satanists. People believe in Big Bang Theory. That's what it sounds like to me.
Well, you know, a lot of times movies do border conspiracy theories, and conspiracy theories border real life events.
Kind of like
Okay, so-
9/12.
9/12. So, whenever Anderson he messaged up to Gray, who was orbiting Earth, they started making plans to get him off the fucking moon because rocks are moving and shit. And his astronaut buddy Walker just got sucked into a crater by these unknown objects. So Anderson's in the Russian cosmonaut thing. He's trying to start it up, and they're making preps for it. And here comes the fucking dude that got sucked into the crater, banging on the window, saying, "Let me in, let me in."
Oh, did
He's
he see George Clooney in there the whole time, even though he's really dead?
Good luck, kid.
Well, he's banging on the window saying, "Let me in, let me in." So Anderson's like, "No, like I'm not letting you fucking in. I'm not going to let you fucking in." So then the dude Walker,
Space
he pulls
gun.
out a hammer and starts banging it against the
I thought
window,
he
trying to get
brought
the
a
fuck
gun.
in.
That'd be better.
There's a gun in space.
Brings a gun.
Didn't NASA contract to have ARs in space?
I don't know
Hey,
about
gun
that.
machetes. But that's just me.
So he's banging on the window with a hammer, but before he could bust through, he gets sucked away by some more rock aliens.
Sucked
They
off
break
or
his
sucked
helmet
away?
open.
So
They
do you-
break
I'm
his helmet
thinking-
open and kill him, and
So
his
I'm
body's
thinking-
dragged away by. Wow.
It's not really rock aliens. I think they're Nephilim.
They're in Diablo. What are you talking about? More Satanist talk. The Nephilim.
So Anderson was able to successfully launch. He lets the lander's engine shut off as it enters orbit, and it's in free fall. Small rocks within the craft float in the air, some of which reveal themselves to be rock aliens. Anderson is attacked and affected by the rock aliens, preventing him from controlling the vehicle. Gray tells Anderson that he is moving too fast as the LK speeds towards freedom, and the space footage ends abruptly, implying that they collided.
Yeah.
Yep.
That man may have took one for the team.
I think he got fucked. So, moral of the story, don't go to the moon. There's rock aliens on there.
Yeah.
But the DOD doesn't want us to know.
Yeah, but there's a lot of fools that want to be an astronaut. Me and Chris were talking about this shit. So,
Brand new fools.
just in 2016, there were over 18,000 applicants.
Jesus Christ.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so there's a lot of guys willing to give up their life.
Easily duped.
And that's how it is. So what do you think? Do you think that the that covert mission's real?
Sure.
We've never made it across Antarctica, so I don't think that's true.
Yeah.
Well, the Nazis made it to Antarctica.
Not across Antarctica. No one's trekked it.
Not
You know why?
true.
There's a goddamn
Wow.
wall there.
That's true. So you tell me no one's ever started at Australia side of Antarctica and come up at
Nope.
South America?
Nope.
Not even an airplane?
Nope.
I thought I saw a documentary of a
Why?
guy who walked across
Nope.
Antarctica because they were
Didn't
like,
happen.
"Look, you got to
You
carry
can't
your
walk across Antarctica.
yeah. He carried his poop, dragged his bed.
Didn't happen.
You can't walk. It's really far and there's nothing out there. You can't walk that. You'll die.
There's a wall there. Can't go across it.
No, it is the wall. What do you mean wall? Like, is it an invisible barrier type wall? Like painted? Are we all in like a simulation? Like
If
a
that
Truman
wall was
Show?
there, it
Is
wouldn't be
like
a wall.
Truman
It would be
Show?
a circle.
So are you saying that we live in like a Truman Show bubble?
It would be a fortress.
Just on a giant Earth-sized Truman Show fortress.
It would be a
Yes.
fortress because if it's at the top of the world, then the wall
There's
has to
no-
go in a circle, and it would ultimately what's inside of this fortress.
Yeah, because everything's on a flat plane.
What I want to know is where does the compass north if you were to go up north and you plateaued at the very top, what if you kept going? What happens to the compass? Does it turn back around?
North is just a circle.
Yeah.
Because at some point north ends up being south.
There's no north.
At that point, you need a new compass because compasses in the northern hemisphere don't work in the southern hemisphere.
If you go to the other side of the North Pole,
oh no,
there's no magnetic field.
So okay, if you were able to cross the wall, would it put you out on the North Pole if you were on the South Pole, or would it just instantly turn you back around?
You'd fall
on the
off.
I thought you said there was a wall. Why would you fall off if there's a wall?
You climb it and you fall off. There's a wall there.
You'd find the Nazis because the wall is basically their fucking fortress wall.
So you're saying the Nazis went to the wall in Antarctica, climbed up the wall, parachuted down
off.
into Argentina?
They parachute off.
They went down into
space.
Hollow Earth. They just created a fortress barrier to keep people away from Hollow Earth.
They hopped off and rappelled down to that fucking turtle down there. That's what they did.
They didn't have to rappel down. They just used flying saucer technology to get them into Middle Earth.
They ain't no flying saucer technology. Ain't no
Middle
gravity.
Would they use their fucking rocket technology?
Maybe.
You're telling me they rappelled down in there?
Yeah. The fucking
Jetpacks.
grappling hooks and 5
They're
feet
not.
cord.
They're not. They're not fucking peasants. They had flying saucer
They had rocket
technology.
tech.
They had rocket propelled pogo sticks and they just jumped over the fucking wall.
The inner Aryan race helped them achieve these technological feats by leaking
are you telling me
new
this is-
technology during World War II.
Is that what you talking about?
I like that.
I want to see
is
a
that where
rocket powered pogo stick.
I know. It's
Is
like,
that where the Nazis went?
Look,
That's a ridiculous. That's the turtle holding up the world.
just look at my pogo stick.
No, it's a turtle with the head of a buzzard.
Those are elephants.
holding elephants, supporting the world.
Those are inner Earth elephants.
What?
Just saying.
Is that like Atlas holding up the world?
Yeah.
And then it's ironic because Atlas is the map.
Oh, it's Toto. It's a bunch of Totos holding up the world.
Oh,
They're working for
like
a
the song?
peanut.
Dun, dun,
Well,
dun, 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 dun.
The map is named after the guy holding the world.
Yeah.
I like
So are you saying that the Earth is flat or that the Earth is hollow?
The Earth is hollow.
flat?
It's flat and hollow?
It's
So hollow.
100%
People
hollow.
who think the Earth is hollow are ludicrous.
It can't
Okay,
be
so
hollow
if you
and
fall,
flat.
if you're on the flat Earth and you fall off, where do you go?
Into
Do
space.
you fall into space?
You just
do you
fall
just die?
off and you just.
At some point, you plateau.
See, how
just
can you
fall
fall off if the top is covered in a firmament?
You just go to hell or heaven. Pick one.
I mean, is it like Thor's world where there's a waterfall that drips down into the cosmos?
To nothing.
Which is ice wall. That's what it is.
It's just
What
ice.
replenishes that water on his world?
I don't know.
It's like when you build a pond and you put a fountain in and it has like the sucker thing down under.
So they have a
Oh,
huge pump
Tubes going
system.
through the
They have a
top.
suction
talking-
system.
It's all for looks.
They have a
Alex, are
galactic
you talking
pump,
about-
pump
Are you talking about the world turtle?
Something
His
up.
name is
What the fuck?
Akupara.
Is it a Mayan thing? This sounds like
He's
a Mayan thing.
He's a turtle god.
It's the guy that fights Pennywise, right? And it has our
Who
nemesis
is bad
turtle.
boy? Just into space, going this thing.
Yeah, he's gonna fight Pennywise.
Beep beep Richie.
Wait a minute, I know what you're talking about.
Well, there are some questions that I have as far as what would happen to you if you were going up to the North Pole. What happens to your compass? But we won't know until we actually make that trek there. So if you're a very wealthy person
I think
and you're
that
willing
snake
to
is the
send us
sky.
to the North Pole, we'll take you up on that offer.
That's what we live in.
Send us to the North Pole.
We'll do it.
You ain't gonna find Santa Claus. Tell you that.
What will you find?
You'll find the Nazi equivalent of Santa
You'll
Claus.
Find the fucking wall.
The ice wall.
Thomas.
Okay, so if there's
Anyway.
an ice wall, if there's an ice wall on the north and the south, how do we get around?
Just go
Wait,
to
what
the
about
circle.
the is there a ice wall to the east?
Just
or
go
west?
to the circle. There's no straight lines. Everything's in a circle.
But if it's a circle,
Imagine the map.